Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Benny Elegance Studio. If you want your dress to fit perfectly and look professional, you must understand pattern drafting. Today, I will teach you the basics, that is foundation you must know before you draft a pattern. First of all, you must know your measurement very well. You must know your body measurement and you must know your garment measurement. There is difference between the two. Your body measurement is the accurate measurement, the exact measurement you get when you take your body measurement. But your garment measurement is when you have add ease. You add ease when you are making the garment. So it's not the same as your body measurement. For instance, if I measure my bust, if I measure my bust, you can see, if I measure my bust, I'm watching. Now my boss gave me 36. If I'm making the garment to use this my boss measurement, at the end of the day, the final result, my boss measurement should be 36.5 or 37. This is to make sure there is to have ease, as in I feel comfortable on the dress. We don't make a dress, at the end of the day, person will be very uncomfortable. So there must be ease for the person to be comfortable on that dress. Again, if it's a cloth that have slits, it can cause tear if you don't give that ease. So there must be ease so that the person will feel comfortable. Your client will be comfortable. So that's what we must know about our measurements, both the body measurement and the garment measurement. The next thing is that you must know your tools, the necessary tools for your pattern drafting, which is the tape. You must have your tape for pattern drafting. You must have your pattern master. That is the one that have curvy area. You can see it for the curvy areas, like your armhole, use here. For the straight ones, you use it. So it's very good. You have your scissors. That is pattern paper scissors. You have your pencil and your eraser. Very important. Then your pattern paper, because you don't draw without a pattern paper. It's a pattern paper you use your pencil to draw on. So it's better. That's why it's good for you to do using your eraser. If you have a problem, if you make mistake, you're free, very free to erase it, clean it up, and draw the perfect pattern that you need. It's better you make mistake while drawing your pattern before transferring it to the main fabric, so you have a perfect dress. So the next thing we'll be looking at is our fabric grain lines. We have lengthwise grain, we have crosswise grain, and we have bias grain. These are different. Every woven fabric has these three grain. But what is the difference? The way each material fabric behaves. Their behavior is what makes this difference. Like Ankara, something like Ankara and cotton is a stable. Okay, let me say lengthwise grain is the trade. In fact, it is the direction of the trade. Let me just, the grains, when we talk about fabric grains, it is the direction of the grain of your trade on the fabric. And so we have the one that is parallel, that runs from top to your selvage. Then we have the one that is horizontal, and you have the one that is there diagonal, that is 45 degrees. So that is it. So fabric like Ankara is lengthwise, has lengthwise grain. The behavior is a stable fabric. So when you have something like Ankara, assume you want to make a dress that is not flowing, maybe a pencil skirt, you want it to be stable. Something like Ankara cotton is a perfect fabric for you to use. So why it's good for you to learn this grain line on a fabric, it helps you a lot. Whichever style you want to make, the grain line will direct you. It will even help you to choose the fabric you want to use. Assume you want to use a flowing gown. This flowing gown, it's better to go for something like silk, silk, lycra, this flowing or chiffon. They will flow very well when you put it, because you are going to, the cotton will be biased. It's not going to be straight, bias when we have it this way. So it's good for you to use bias, as in use those soft fabric when you want to do something like flowing gown. Then another one is the crosswise grain, something fabric like linen. You can use it, though it rumbles a lot, so you must always stretch it. Very important. So it's good for you to learn your grain lines, and it helps you, because the essence of it is that it helps you to know how to place your pattern. Assuming you have your bodies and you know your grain line, the fabric grain line, then it helps you to know how to place that pattern before cutting it, for you to get a perfect. If not, you might have some squeeze, your dress will squeeze. So it's good to master the grain line of your fabric in pattern drafting. The next thing we'll be looking at is our seam allowance. I've already mentioned that, so make sure you add seam allowance when you're doing your pattern drafting. Add your seam allowance, but if you don't, except you don't have, in fact, it's always good. It's always good to add your seam allowance in your pattern. So you just put it in your fabric and transfer it. Very easy. But maybe in some cases, you might, because of the length of what you're making and the pattern paper might not be that lengthy. So you might still do it maybe without allowance. Then go back to your fabric, but you must be careful. If you don't add allowance, note that you don't add it. So make sure you add in the fabric when you're transferring it. So that is very necessary. The next one we'll be looking at is a dart. Your dart, in pattern drafting, you put your dart. Well, you know that, and when we go into pattern drafting proper, you are going to see it. That is what helps your dress to have fitting. So that is necessary. You learn it in pattern drafting. You must know your dart. Again, is there your notches. I have something here. This is notches like neckline. Most time these notches work in neckline. See this? This is a neckline. I just made a kind of small neckline. See, I've already sewed it. So notches is that this age, this allowance, for this to sit properly, you have to notch this allowance here. You notch it all through, so that when you flip your facing, facing to the other side, the neckline will sit properly. It will come out fine, perfectly. So that's one thing about notching. It's not only in our neckline, there are other areas you need to notch, but one, you must understand that you must notch where necessary. So the next thing we'll be looking at is our bodies, but that will be in our next class. The next lesson, the next tutorial we'll be going into pattern drafting proper. We'll be looking at the basic bodies, the skirt pattern drafting, our sleeve pattern. So we'll be looking at handling those ones in our next tutorial. So don't miss the next tutorial. That's where I'll be handling that. And I want to advise you that patience improves skill. Don't be in a rush to do it so you can do it fast, but you don't get the right thing you're supposed to get. So always be patient. Do your pattern drafting well, so your outfit will come out perfectly. If this tutorial helps you, please like, share, so that someone that needs it will get it, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video, which will be the pattern drafting proper. Bye.